an American emailing another American about Dick Cheney? And does the NSA have capacity to find out who those parties are by monitoring, by the content of their email?
No. In the United States, we would have to go through an FBI process, a warrant, to get that and serve it to somebody to actually get it.
I see, but you do have the capability of doing it.
But not in the United States.
Not without a warrant.
No, no. We don't have the technical insights in the United States. In other words, you have to have something to intercept or some way of doing that, either by going to a service provider with a warrant, or you have to be collecting in that area. We're not authorized to collect, nor do we have the equipment in the United States to actually collect that kind of information.
That really flies in the face of that NSA room in the AT&T building in San Francisco that's hooked up to the wires or where the optical fiber is inside the United States. With that NERIS device, that right there is capability to collect inside this country. And besides, if you wanted to find somebody who was talking about Cheney and hunting accidents, all you'd have to do is put in the words Cheney, hunting, shooting, and look for combinations like that in text, and then that would pull that out. That's a simple process to find that kind of stuff.
The FBI raided your house. You had worked at the NSA for nearly 40 years, including time as technical director of the NSA's World Geopolitical and Military Analysis Reporting Group. And since you quit right after 9/11 in October, you've warned the NSA's data mining program has become so vast it could create an Orwellian state.
The critical thing that I discovered was not just the massive fraud, waste, and abuse, but also the fact that NSA had chosen to ignore a 23-year legal regime, which had been established in 1978 called the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, with the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, and which at NSA during the time that I was not only NSA but also in the military, flying on RC-135s overseas during the latter part of the Cold War. It was a contract. The one thing you did not do, it was the prime director of NSA. It was, you know, the First Amendment at NSA, which is you do not spy on Americans.
And what'd you find?
Without a warrant. I found, much to my horror, that they had tossed out that legal regime. That it was the excuse of 9/11, which I was told was exit conditions now prevailed. We essentially can do anything. We opened up Pandora's box. We're going to turn the United States of America into the equivalent of a foreign nation for the purpose of dragnet blanket electronic surveillance.
Was NSA whistleblower Thomas Drake on Democracy Now! In March. He was prosecuted by the Obama administration after challenging mismanagement, waste, and possible constitutional violations at the National Security Agency. Ultimately, they had to drop all the charges. He pled guilty to a lower charge under enormous pressure. William Binney, you're one of the whistleblowers of this group, smaller group of whistleblowers who has not been charged. Your response to what he's saying?
Well, I mean, that's what he said was one of the primary reasons I left NSA. I mean, we were collecting data on virtually every U.S. citizen in the country, and so I couldn't participate in that. I couldn't be an accessory to subversion of the Constitution.
It's an attempt to protect our networks from real cyber threats. CISPA is an example of what not to do.